What's up, fiends? Alucard here, and welcome back to Tubi Tuesday. Alright, so today we're going to look at a slightly different type of film than I normally do on this channel. We're actually going to do a Kaiju movie on this channel tonight. And we are going to talk about The Great Buddha Arrival. Released in 2018, it is directed, co-written, co-produced, edited, and the cinematography was all done by Hiroto Yokokawa. This movie is available on Tubi, of course. It's Tubi Tuesday. It is just under an hour long. It's 59 minutes and 38 seconds. So not quite 22 seconds shy of an hour. And that includes opening and closing credits. So let me give you a little backstory about this movie. In 1934, there was a film made by director Yoshiro Edamasa. And he directed a movie called The Great Buddha Arrival. And it's one of the earliest, if not the earliest, kaiju movie on record. Unfortunately, the movie is now lost. It is gone. The only thing that is available currently is a couple of still photographs of the movie. And so now this movie, which was made in 2018, starts with a very lengthy opening crawl, and which lasts about a minute and a half, by the way. And in the 1934 movie, the Buddha statue located in Aichi suddenly springs to his feet and wanders around Nagoya City. The story becomes even stranger when heaven and hell appear later in the film. Now, even in the opening crawl, they claim that this is a reboot of the original, which is sort of true. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the interesting thing here is that the creators of this movie actually got permission from the grandson of Edamasa to independently basically remake this movie. So I thought that was neat. At least they went to, the closest thing I guess you could say to the source. So there's definitely a lot of respect here for the original movie. So basically, this movie cuts between interview clips and the story of this guy named Murata, who is trying to put together a piece on the 1934 movie. So the first interview that we see is from Akira Takarada, who appeared in 6 original Godzilla films, and he's a very notable. He's one of the big faces of Godzilla and Kaiju in general. So it's very impressive to have him involved in this movie. Unfortunately, he passed away, I believe, last year or earlier this year, maybe. Anyway, so Takarada compares the 1934 movie to the Godzilla films and also to The Golem, which is a German expressionist film. And he actually reveals that Eiji Tsuburaya, who did all the effects and stuff on the original Godzilla films, was actually a disciple of Edamasa. Then we cut to the opening credits. Now, the opening credits is shot like the original 1934 film. It's in black and white, it's silent, and it's one of the most impressive things in the movie. I legitimately thought for a second, wait, did they actually find some footage of this movie? Because that's how authentic this looked. It was very cool to see, and it was very, very impressive. The cinematography in it is amazing. Everything completely worked, and it's the Buddha's running, moving around, and it's really impressive. So now we cut to Murata editing the piece, and we learn that the statue, this is a real statue, by the way. The real statue was built by Seikichi Yamada, and it is 59 feet tall or 18 meters tall, and it weighs 1,800 tons. Yeah, and it's all reinforced concrete. So in this news piece, they basically bring up photographic evidence that the Buddha actually got up and walked, and it's actually it's the 3 stills from the movie that have been found. So the whole thing is like, is it fake? Is it real? So this movie starts becoming very meta because in the beginning, Takarada was talking about how it's a movie, and now this is saying how it's real. So it's like, okay, what's happening? Then Murata goes and talks to the mayor, who is played by Yoshiro Uchida, who's most famous for playing uh, Kenny in the original Gamera film. And this is what he looks like in the movie now. So the original Gamera film was 1960, and he played the little boy who falls off the lighthouse and gets caught, and Gamera saves him. Now he tells it like it's the Buddha that saves him in this. So like it happened, but it was the Buddha. It wasn't Gamera. Yeah, it's very everything's so weird in this movie. And then the editor says Edamasa was inspired by his real life. So the Buddha had actually saved Edamasa in 1934, which inspired him to make the movie. Then we cut to an interview with, uh, I assume is Edamasa's grandson. Um, and he says that the theme of the Great Buddha Arrival movie is death. So now we cut back to another black and white silent uh, sequence, which this is probably the most impressive sequence in the movie. It's really all. I love the black and white sequences in this movie. They're fabulous. And here we cut to a woman performs seppuku, which is like a ritualistic suicide. For those that don't know, you see a young man hang himself. Um, then we see Edamasa uh, with. They never explain who she is, but it's with this girl. Don't know if she's an actress or his wife or girlfriend, sister. Don't know. But she actually like jumps off a bridge into a lake and kills herself. So Edamasa is about to do the same thing when he gets saved by the giant Buddha. So Murata also learns about the 1934 suicides that happened after the big tsunami. And apparently there was a walking Buddha in 1923 after the Great Kanto earthquake. So apparently this has happened a couple of times. So now we cut to Murata's editor, and he's out bicycling with his new crazy bike that he bought, and he sees the Great Buddha walking around. This is what the Great Buddha looks like. He's all uh, now. Nothing really moves on him. He is a full statue. Like it's not like his hands don't move, and no, he's just moves like this. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So now we got a guy named Toshi, and he's interviewing a lady named uh, Dr. Mary Lisa Gleason, played by Peggy Neal. Now, Peggy Neal was in a couple of tokusatsu movies in the 60s, such as Terror from Beneath the Sea and The X from Outer Space. Now, in Terror from Beneath the Sea, her name was Jenny Gleason, and in the X from Outer Space, her name was Lisa. So her name is kind of an amalgamation of the two. And this is her in the new movie, in the Great Buddha Arrival in 2018. She claims that the statue is a sign of hope. All right, now if you don't want to know how this ends, you may want to turn it off now, because I am going into spoilers because I have to talk about it. The Great Buddha statue stops in the middle of Tokyo, uh, at like at the base of this tower, and he starts glowing. Okay, he's glowing this good golden. So it's getting all these people to walk toward him. Okay, to walk toward the Buddha. And so Murata is one of them, and he's walking, but he gets disrupted by the ghost of Edamasa. And the ghost of Edamasa tells him, "Don't hasten your death. That's all. That's literally all he says. Then of course he looks away. Ghost disappears, and Murata wakes up, and it looks like a war torn city. Like everything's it's rubble, right? So apparently, what happened is that an earthquake had happened. If you read the text on his phone, the text is in Japanese. So yeah. But anyway, so it's basically a giant earthquake had happened. There's nobody else around. He's by himself. It's like I said, everything's in rubble. So he just kind of walks around, but he finds his office, which his computer is still running. So he goes, he finishes editing his piece on the Great Buddha and sends it to his editor. And as soon as he hits send, you see that he's looking at a black screen. So it's not, did it happen? Is it in his head? What's going on? So then we cut to the grandson again, and he says his grandfather might have been navigated to the land of happiness. So okay, and then like yeah, like I said, you see the blank computer screen, and then the movie ends. Like that is how the movie ends. My problem here is that there's all this buildup, right, of the Buddha, and what it means, what it represents, everything, and then they kind of just give you a cop out ending. Uh, that's my biggest problem with this movie. Like what the frig? Like what is that ending? What the hell is that? I don't know. I don't know if it's some Buddhist thing or what. I'm not a Buddhist. I know very little about Buddhism. Um, it's a very interesting movie. I will give it that. But it's like, is any of it real? Is it like what? Like is the 1934 movie even real? Who knows? Like I don't know. It's so confusing. It seems it was trying to say something, but it's completely lost on me. I have no earthly idea what they were trying to say. Like was it the light at the end of the tunnel? Is it like what was it? Like I don't like it didn't make any sense, at least to me, and apparently to many others that I've seen as well. So I'm not the only one. Like I said, this movie is super duper meta. Um, if you're not into like the meta stuff, I know some people aren't. You're definitely not going to be into this one. Some positives though, I will say the special effects are really great, especially those black and white sequences. Like I said, those black and white, they're not long, but they're very, very impressive. The cinematography is amazing throughout the whole movie, pretty much. Um, some of the acting is a little less than others. But speaking of that, they did get a bunch of kaiju notable actors in to appear in this movie. Like I said earlier, Akira Takarada, he was in the original Godzilla as well as 5 other Godzilla movies. Like I said, they interview him. He's known as the narrator. Let's see. We also have Akira Kubo, who plays the Prime Minister. He actually appeared in 3 Godzilla movies, including Destroy All Monsters and Son of Godzilla. We also had, like I said, Peggy Neal from Terror from Beneath the Sea and The X from Outer Space. We have Yoshiro Uchida, who plays Mayor Sakurai, who played Kenny, aka Toshio Sakurai, in the first Gamera film. We also have Yukiko Kobayashi, who appeared in Destroy All Monsters, and Yukijiro Hotaru, who plays Detective Osaki in this movie. He played a detective in the Heisei Gamera trilogy. So they definitely got some heavy hitters to appear in this movie. They're all in fairly small roles and nothing gigantic, but it was neat to see them all. So that was definitely another positive. Like I said, it's a very interesting movie, especially if you're into like filmmaking and the legend of certain movies and lost movies and whatnot. Um, they bring up some interesting concepts like is it real, is it not, kind of thing. Um, I was entertained, like I said, up until the ending, which I was just like, what the frig? Uh, but I kind of liked it. I don't know. So I'm gonna give this one 2.5 bats out of 5. I'm putting it right in the middle because I kind of liked it and then I kind of didn't. So it's kind of right in the middle. Um, I am interested to see the director's other movie, Nezra 1964, um, and that should be yeah. So I'm gonna watch that one soon. So maybe that'll be a Tubi Tuesday. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. But yeah, if you're into kaiju stuff or if you're into like historical filmmaking and whatnot, I say give it a try. Um, if not, maybe stay away. Yeah, that's my recommendation. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get out of here. Remember to stay spooky. Peace.